Share mode. Perfect. All right. So, welcome in again to the Wellness Intention Setting Workshop. This is to start us out in fresh start February of our semester of wellness here at Long Beach State. So, thank you again for being with us during this workshop. Here's a little overview of our time together today. We did our introductions, so that mission was accomplished. Shortly, I will stop sharing my screen and we'll move into our opening meditation, which is a centering present moment meditation. And then I'll take us through some examples of different wellness and well being theories and frameworks. And then I'll share with you the framework that we'll use together today. And then we'll go through our wellness intention setting activity using the wellness framework. It's a 4-part wellness framework that we're going to be using together today. And we will set together one wellness intention. So each of us will get to set one wellness intention, and then you'll have accomplished that skill or exercised that skill, and you can set additional wellness intentions for your semester as time goes along. Then we'll close in meditation together. And the closing meditation is a visualization of our most well self, what we look like, how we think, how we speak, how we behave as our most well self. And we'll visualize that for the semester. So we'll contextualize the meditation and the visualization for in the semester. That's how we'll look at it, or that's how we'll visualize ourselves. All right, I'm going to stop my screen share there. And I want to open it up for any questions that you all have before we start our opening meditation. Does anyone have any questions for this type of a meditation? And once you've found your comfortable position, I want to invite you to come into your body by first noticing the points of contact of your body into the chair or the floor. If you're lying down, just notice the points of contact of your body onto the surface that you're lying down on. And then if you're seated or standing, roll your shoulders up, back, and down a few times, just to notice the sensation of the feeling in your body as you do a little bit of movement. If you're lying down, you can try wiggling your fingers and your toes to notice that little bit of movement. And if you were rolling your shoulders or wiggling your fingers or toes, now come to a place of stillness. And I'll invite you to close your eyes and narrow your attention into your breath. Noticing your breath as it moves into and through your body and back out again. Still using our sense of touch to notice our body in contact with the surface that it's resting on. Noticing the feeling of our breath in our body and moving through our body. And as you continue to follow the natural rhythm of your breath, now turn your attention to your sense of sound. Take a moment to notice all of the different sounds around you. And after you've noticed the sounds that are more overt the sounds that you can notice pretty easily. Now take a moment to tune in and try to hear some of the sounds that are more subtle. For example, maybe you can hear the sound of your computer humming, something that you usually tune out. But if you pay attention, you can tune in and hear it. If your mind is busy or it starts to wander away from your breath or away from noticing the different sounds, please know that that is completely normal. And just as soon as you notice that your mind has gotten distracted, maybe by a thought or a feeling or a sensation, then gently let go of the distraction and anchor your attention back to your breath as a point of attention or a point of focus. Noticing our breath again as it moves into and through our body and back out again. Let's use our sense of smell. Notice any of the different scents around you. What are some of the things that you can smell as you take a deep breath in? Again, there may be some smells that are more powerful, more present, and others that are a little more subtle. What do you notice as you pay attention to your sense of smell? And let's come back to our breath once again, following the natural rhythm of your inhale and your exhale. And as we close our meditation, I want to invite you to repeat after me in your mind a present moment mantra or a present moment saying that Thich Nhat Hanh has taught us. As you breathe in, say in your mind, breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I calm my mind. Breathing in the present moment. Breathing out, I am here now. Let's go through that one more time, and you can say this in your mind or out loud if you'd prefer. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I calm my mind. Breathing in the present moment. Breathing out, I am here now. And then whenever you're ready, you can blink your eyes back open. And if you'd like, take a little stretch. Sometimes that feels good after a meditation. And I wanted to share that little present moment mantra or present moment saying, because I think that can be so powerful when we need to come back to the present moment, and probably when we need to go through that exercise the most is when we least feel like it, when we're the most caught up in our day or in our tasks. If you notice that you're experiencing a sense of being overwhelmed or distracted, not able to focus in on what you'd like to focus on, simply take those 2 deep breaths in. That's all it takes. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I calm my mind. Breathing in the present moment. Breathing out, I am here now. And that's just a way of bringing us back into the present moment. And we're exercising our attentional awareness to be able to focus in on what we want to, when we want to, whether that's a task or a person, a conversation. So I hope that that little present moment mantra or saying is beneficial to you throughout the semester. At this point, I'm going to share my screen again. And we'll move further into our presentation. And again, at any point, feel free to drop questions, comments into the chat. So I mentioned before, I wanted to take us through some different wellness frameworks or wellness theories. Now, I'm going to be using wellness and well-being a little bit interchangeably today. They're different constructs, but for the purpose of our wellness intention setting workshop, I'm going to blend them together. There were 2 frameworks or 2 theories in particular that I want to introduce you to. And I think it's so important that we do the work individually to decide which frameworks of wellness or well-being work best for us. So I wanted to introduce you to a few different ones today, and then you can decide what resonates the most with you. So the wellness framework that we're going to be using today is a 4-part framework that you can see here at the top of the screen. We're going to divide wellness into 4 realms: physical, mental, emotional, social, and spiritual. And we're going to talk about different elements within each of those 4 realms. Other frameworks or theories that I wanted to introduce you to. The first one is from one of my favorite well-being and happiness researchers and academics, Dr. Tal Ben-Shahar. He used to teach at Harvard University, and he taught one of the most popular classes at Harvard, which was the science of happiness. And he now teaches at Columbia and teaches seminar classes, smaller classes with more intimate groups, because that's his preference as he's teaching about well-being and happiness. His framework for wellness is an acronym SPIRE: spiritual wellness, physical, intellectual, relational, and emotional wellness. And you can see that that 5-part framework is very similar to the 4-part framework that we're going to be using. I've just combined the mental and emotional, or intellectual and emotional realms into one. Another theory that I would highly recommend you look into is PERMA well-being theory that Dr. Martin Seligman introduced into the positive psychology literature in 2011. His colleagues, Peggy Butler and Margaret Kern, have since done some wonderful research in many different contexts, from schools like K through 12 and higher education, as well as workplaces. And they've looked at this theory of well-being as it relates to different individuals across those different environments or contexts. PERMA well-being theory states that there are 5 signature elements of well-being that can be defined and measured independently of one another, that as human beings, we naturally strive toward these elements, or to improve or work on these elements, and that all 5 of these elements contribute to our overall experience of well-being. So the 5 elements are positive emotions, engagement, positive relationships, meaning, and accomplishment. And you're going to see how those elements are woven into our 4-part wellness framework as we start to move through that together. I also want to show you this wellness wheel. And the wellness wheel breaks wellness into 6 different dimensions. So you're starting to get a feel for, as we look at wellness and well-being, there are so many different theories, frameworks, diagrams out there. Look for what resonates with you the most and look for what serves you best in terms of being able to consistently and sustainably take action on elements of wellness or well-being. So the wellness wheel, there are 6 different dimensions: physical, occupational, financial, intellectual, social, emotional, and spiritual. And I actually borrowed this diagram from Project Ocean and CAPS on campus. Wonderful resources for all of us to explore our wellness and our mental health on campus. So that's just another framework for looking at our wellness. As I mentioned, we're going to use the 4-part framework, and we're going to be talking about elements within each realm as we move along. So first is physical wellness. And what I'd like to do actually, before I go further here, and I just went further ahead on accident, I'm actually going to put into the chat, my friends, the 4 realms and the 3 elements within each. And what I would love for you to do is copy paste the realms and the elements into a Word document if you have one open, or if you're a pen and paper type of a person, just jot these down on a piece of paper. And I would love for you to take a few notes as I'm talking about the different elements within each realm of wellness, because the wellness intention exercise that we're going to do, you're going to select one element within one realm to set an intention for the semester about and to develop an action plan for. So in the chat, you'll see the 4 realms again are physical, mental, emotional, social, and spiritual. And there are 3 elements within each realm, all of which start with an F. That's on purpose so we can remember them and reference them easily. And I'm going to be defining all of those right now, and I'll go through that. So feel free to copy paste that into a Word document or to jot it down real quick on a piece of paper. All right, so let's start with physical wellness. The 3 elements are fitness, fuel, and frequency. And as I'm defining all of these, I want you to think about how they manifest, how they play out in your life right now, and how you'd like them to play out into the future. So fitness is our movement habits and behaviors. This can be purposeful exercise. It can also be recreational activities or activities of daily living. Someone said that they like to garden. Gardening absolutely counts as movement. So it would count toward the element of fitness within the realm of physical wellness. Second element is fuel, our nutritional habits and behaviors. I really like to think about food as fuel. Food is what we put into our body to enable us to do all of the activities that we want and need to do as human beings. I want to take a moment here to dispel a common myth or error that I hear a lot of folks talk about within the realm of physical wellness. I hear a lot of people talk about, and I'm in the fitness industry, and I hear in the fitness industry sometimes exercise talked about as a mechanism by which to burn off the food that we ate, or something that I've seen on social media because the Super Bowl just happened is, if you overate during the Super Bowl, then on Monday you can just, exercise a ton to burn that off. I don't buy into that way of thinking or that way of framing exercise or nutrition at all. Food serves different purposes. It serves nutritional purposes for energizing our body, but it can also serve some psychological purposes as well. So I like to think of food as fuel, and we eat so that we can move. We don't move because we've eaten or because of what we've eaten. So I like to clarify that so that there's not any guilting or shaming around eating certain foods or not eating certain foods, or having to exercise and burn off extra calories because of what you have eaten. Let's let that one go straight away, friends. Frequency, the third element, is our rest and relaxation habits and behaviors. This is our sleep hygiene, our sleep habits and patterns. And this also has to do with how we rest throughout the day. So, what periods of rest do we incorporate into our day, into our week, into our months, and into our years? Do you carve out intentionally time for yourself to rest and recuperate and relax? That is so important to do. So I want us not to forget the element of frequency: sleep, rest, relaxation, restoration. Please feel free to put any comments or questions that you have into the chat about any of the realms or the elements. I saw that someone had input info into the chat, so thank you for that. Let's move into the realm of mental emotional wellness. The three elements are focus, feed, and feel good. Let me unpack those a little bit. Focus is our ability to hold our awareness and our attention where we want to, when we want to. So that's what I was talking about with the power of meditation and mindfulness can really help us to come back to the present moment, to notice when we've been distracted, to notice when our mind has wandered, and then to, once we've recognized that, we can acknowledge that and be aware, and then focus our attention back where we want it. Is that easy to do? Absolutely not. If we can string 2 moments of mindfulness together in a day, we should feel like very accomplished human beings. The second element is feed. That's our ability to offer ourselves mental and emotional stimulation and growth. What do you do? I'm sure many of you as students find a lot of mental or intellectual stimulation through your academic studies, but I'm sure there are things outside of that that you're doing to stimulate your mental, your intellectual growth as well. How about emotionally? How do you offer yourself opportunities for emotional stimulation and growth? Is it deep conversations with family and friends? Is it different interpersonal communication exercises? There's so many different things that we can do to work on our emotional stimulation and growth. Journaling is a great activity for that, so that we can do some introspection and create greater self-awareness. And we can journal about how we're feeling, what we're thinking, how we're acting, how we're behaving, and why we think we are thinking, speaking, behaving the way that we are. Feel good. Feel good is one of my favorite elements, in that it's our ability to cultivate positive emotions and to recover from setback, our resilience. All of us have gotten to practice a lot of resilience during the pandemic. This has been an incredible opportunity for growth and to practice resilience when things don't go the way that we think that they're going to go, or the way that we would like them to go. How quickly can we reframe? How much can we sustain and adapt a growth mindset where we're learning from disappointments, we're learning from failures, things that don't work out the way that we would hope that they would, right? How quickly can we reframe that and bounce back? And if we have time, I'll talk more specifically about how we can be intentional in cultivating positive emotions. Cultivating positive emotions is not putting on rose tinted glasses and just pretending like everything is okay. or ignoring anything bad or negative that happens. In fact, it's the opposite. It's having our eyes wide open, seeing it all, acknowledging it all, noticing the pleasant, unpleasant, the comfortable, the uncomfortable parts of life, and then being intentional about creating opportunities for ourselves to experience positive emotions more frequently. We're absolutely going to continue to experience unpleasant or uncomfortable emotions, but we can set ourselves up to experience positive emotions in a very intentional way. And this is evidence based. So there's scientifically based exercises that we can do to cultivate positive emotion. Let's move into social wellness, the three elements within the realm of social wellness: family, friends, and fellows. So, family is our ability to nurture meaningful connections with those we consider family. So, this might not be biological family, this might be a symbolic or ceremonial family. Friends, our ability to establish and maintain meaningful connections with those that we consider close friends. And there I want to challenge you to make a list. So if you've got your Word document open or if you're writing this down, I want to invite you to make a list of your top 3 friends. Is that pretty easy to do? Who are the top 3 friends in your life? These are the people that you have a pretty close and intimate relationship with. You feel like you're safe to share your thoughts, your feelings with them, and there's an openness there. We'll come back to that later if we have time. Third element, fellows. I referenced this at the very beginning of the presentation. Fellows is our ability to initiate and cultivate meaningful connections with our colleagues, with our neighbors, our community, etc. So these are folks that are more on the periphery of our social relationships, but they're still important and meaningful. And I want to take a moment to acknowledge my colleagues that are on the call right now on the in the presentation. And I have benefited so much through my relationships with my colleagues at Long Beach State University because I get to engage with folks who value so immensely their wellness and the wellness of our students. So I want to take a moment to say thank you to my colleagues for inspiring me and motivating me to share wellness with our students. So that's social wellness, family, friends, fellows. Let's move on to the fourth realm of wellness, spiritual wellness. The 3 elements are foundation, faith, and freedom. These are big. Our spiritual wellness is a very existential part of our wellness. This is where we ask some really big questions that can bring up some really big feels. So, as you're working your way through this realm of wellness, please know that it's normal for big feelings to accompany some of the questions that we ask as we're working on our spiritual wellness. The 3 elements: foundation is our sense of meaning and purpose. So, in your life, where do you glean your sense of purpose and meaning? This might be in multiple components or aspects of life. Faith is your clarity on who and what you believe in. This is your belief system. Freedom is your sense of belonging, and then your ability. So, sense of belonging, let me clarify that. Your sense of belonging, that means, which group or groups of people do you feel the most comfortable and at home in? There's a freedom that comes with that, feeling a sense of belonging, like you're a sense of a group or a community. And then there's also a lot of freedom in letting go of unhealthy thoughts, behaviors, and relationships, those things that are not serving us well or are not contributing to our overall health and wellness. So that gives us an idea of the 4 realms of wellness. and the elements within each. So now I want to move into setting your intention, and I'm going to set this up and then I'm going to stop sharing my screen and we'll pause the recording so that we can have some dialogue around this. But here's how it will work. As you think about setting your wellness intention, think about which realms of wellness are well balanced or full for you. Physical, mental, emotional, social, or spiritual. Which realms feel the most balanced or full? It's not possible to be beautifully, perfectly balanced in all realms all the time. So please know that. And that is okay and normal. We might be doing really well in physical wellness and then not well at all in our social wellness. And so all we're trying to do here is maybe tip things a little bit more. So think about which realms need some work, which realms tend to be neglected for you, that you need to pay attention to. And then it's always good to take that macro view, right? What's the macro view of what's going well, what's not going so well, and what might I like to change? And then we narrow down to the micro view because it's the micro view that's actionable. And research has demonstrated this time and again when it comes to behavior change, that it's ideal to focus in on one goal or one behavior at a time. So I want to encourage all of us to pick one element within one realm, and we'll establish an intention and an action plan to build it up. For example, maybe you're going to pick the element of focus within the realm of mental emotional wellness. So I want you to give that some thought. And as you're thinking about which element within which realm you're going to pick to set your intention, I want to talk about simplicity, consistency, and sustainability. These are three key pieces to behavior change. We're going to keep it simple. That's why we're picking one element of 12. There's 12 different elements. We're picking one and we're picking it within one realm. There's 4 realms. We're focusing in on one. And we're going to come up with simple actions that we can take on a daily basis to make change. That helps us to be consistent because we want to choose actions that we can be consistent with. And then that lends itself to sustainability. If we pick actions and we take action on behaviors that are doable, that makes them sustainable. That's going to look different for everyone. What's a sustainable behavior for me will look different than a sustainable behavior for you. So that's relative to each person. But when it comes to wellness, really, consistency is queen because being consistent really is what makes long-term change or long-term lifestyle sustainable. So I'll leave it at that for now. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And Candace, let's pause the record for putting those resources and pieces of information in the chat. Before we do our closing meditation, I'm also going to put into the chat the Life Fit Center website for any of you who are interested. And now let us close together in meditation. I want to invite you to be thinking about the specific element and realm of wellness that you're going to be focusing on in setting your wellness intention for the semester. And that is what we will use as a point of focus during this closing meditation. Feel free to have your video on or off, whatever is most comfortable for you. And then find your preferred meditation posture. Again, come into your body by noticing your body in contact with your chair or the floor, whatever surface you're resting on. And then close your eyes. And once again, follow your breath, feeling your breath moving in and out of your body. Remember, if your mind is busy, if you notice that you're getting caught up in thinking about something that happened earlier today or something that you need to do later today or tomorrow, know that that is completely normal. And as soon as you notice that your mind has been distracted and moved away from your breath, then gently let go of whatever the distraction and anchor back into your breath. As you continue to follow your breath in and out of your body, I invite you to start to think about the semester ahead. Just play a little movie in your mind of the different activities that you'll be participating in, the different environments that you'll be in, your home, other places where you will be physically. Think about the different people who you will come into contact with and be engaging with throughout the semester. And that may be in person, that may be virtually. Play that movie in your mind, and it'll be a little bit of a movie montage as you move through the different activities and environments and individuals that you'll come into contact with. And now, thinking about the wellness element within the wellness realm that you're focusing on, I invite you to visualize your most well self moving through those different activities, those different environments, and interacting and engaging with those different individuals throughout the semester. Maybe you're going to visualize a particular energy that you're going to bring into each of those different contexts and relationships. Or maybe you're going to visualize some specific ways that you will be thinking, speaking, and behaving as your most well self. And I'll give you an example as you continue to play the movie in your mind. So I'm focusing on the element of focus within the realm of mental emotional wellness. So I'm seeing myself, I'm visualizing myself being present during the different activities that I'm participating in, being fully immersed and engaged in them. By being present both physically and in my mind in the different environments that I'm going to be in. And probably most importantly, being present with the different individuals, with the different people that I'm going to come into contact with. Focusing in on them and being present with them, whether that's comfortable, uncomfortable, or somewhere in between. As you take your next few breaths, Visualize your most well self moving through your semester. Take one more deep breath to breathe in the energy and the feeling of your most well self. Mm. Then slowly let that visualization fade from your mind, following one more breath in and out of your body, and slowly blinking your eyes back open whenever you are ready. In closing, I will invite you to use either meditation, the opening or closing meditation, whatever it serves you best. What I wanted to encourage you to do once a month is pick a new element. Pick a new element inside of a new realm to create an action plan around, and you can perform that most well self meditation and visualize yourself that month moving through life, working on that element within that realm of wellness. And if you do that once a month, there are 12 elements within the four realms of wellness. So by the time the year closed out, you would have worked your way through all 12 elements of the four different realms of wellness. I want to say thank you so much to those of you who were here live, those of you that are watching the recording. May you be well too. And here's how I will close, and then I will stay for questions for any of you who have them. May you be healthy. May you be happy. May you be safe. May you be peaceful and at ease. Have a wonderful evening and a wonderful semester, everyone. And at this point, we will pause or stop the recording, and I'll take any other questions that folks have.